So welcome to our next CEO interview. Today we're joined by Unikorn's team of Stephen and Helen. We're going to be talking about their upcoming project. So as a bit of a start, Stephen, can you provide a bit of an introduction to Unikorn Capital?
All right. Well, Helen has been a commercial property educator and buyer's agent for over a decade, and I've been in construction since way too long. And we've come together to form Unikorn Capital to put together projects taking advantage of Helen's property experience and my construction experience.
Fantastic. And so, obviously you guys are working on quite a significant project at the moment in quite a well-located area. Do you
Yes,
just
sir.
give a bit of an introduction to that project and some of the dynamics around it and sort of, I suppose, the opportunity for investors?
All right. Well, what we've done is we've found an old shopping centre at Blacktown. Blacktown is one of the fastest growing areas of Western Sydney. And in fact, 1 in every 18 people in New South Wales live in the Blacktown Council. Now, Walker Corp, which is an international developer, they're spending $2 billion a couple of kilometres down the road to rejuvenate Blacktown's town centre. So the area is going to continue to grow and grow. So we found a shopping centre. It's on the corner of St Martin's, Crescent and Blacktown Road, Main Road. And it's basically been built in the 60s. Someone cleaned it once in 1960 and has been allowed to run down pretty much ever since. So we bought that and we've gone into it with the aim of redeveloping it to put together a brand new shopping centre, which is it's a neighbourhood centre. So we're not talking about something where you go to for 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
You go into the shopping centre, you go to your supermarket to buy your groceries, you pick up your kids from childcare, you then go to the bottle shop to pick up a bottle of red so you can cope with the kids who have come home from childcare, and you head home.
I know people won't understand this reference, but it was literally just what Greg Paramore was talking about in his sort of keynote he was mentioning. He mentioned that's the sort of kind of centres that they're looking for.
Exactly. So it's a neighbourhood centre. It's not designed to compete with Westfields. It's designed to be in, out, fast.
Got it. And so, Helen, obviously, as Stephen mentioned, you're the brains behind the operation, and so just give us a bit of an introduction to what really sort of sets Unikorn apart, and obviously your own experience and background.
So what brought Unikorn Capital together was the ability to give investors relatable projects. So when we looked at projects, we tend to look at projects that one of the investors in our group of investors can go almost drive past it, see it happening. So they really feel like they're part of a project that we're doing, whether that's in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, doesn't matter where it is, that it's local to them, they understand it, and it's not such a huge project. So it's not like a $300 million building in the middle of a CBD with tenants that they can't relate to. So we always wanted to bring relatable projects, so there's an excitement in the project, not only for the investors, for us as well, but together. It's almost like doing it together, right? That they're watching it happen. And that what makes Unikorn unique is that we want to incorporate the 3 fundamental strategies that made the original business between Stephen and I before became Unikorn Capital, that a project or a property needs to have cash flow, growth, and uplift. So every one of the projects that we do in Unikorn Capital has those 3 elements at some stage in the process of creating that value. So for example, Blacktown, it will have cash flow in the future once it's built, because it will have brand name tenants, stability, and cash flow from that, because you're building it from scratch, so you're getting a higher cash flow ultimately. But to start with, you've got really that baseline level of people coming in. So you're going to get that growth uplift within a 12 to 18 month period by getting a DA and all your anchor tenants such as Coles and childcare and medical signed on. And then of course you get the development process where you're really creating that value to ultimately getting that cash flow. So each and every one of the projects, doesn't matter whether it's just a purely cash flow driven project or a development project, all has that inherent 3 base strategies that sets us apart, so that in one project as an investor you could get the unicorn essentially.
Yeah. Got it. And for you, Stephen, you mentioned that you've been in sort of construction for some time. What are some of the innovative elements that you're bringing to this project?
Well, to be really honest, there's nothing monumentally new in this. There's no nanotechnology, but the whole building is going to be designed to be a coherent design from beginning to end. So we're going to have all of the usual things like solar, battery backup. We're going to have The whole car park is effectively underground, so it's easy access. If it's winter, summer, hot, cold, raining, doesn't matter. Easy access around the shopping centre. Everything is designed from scratch to make it really easy for the tenants, really easy for the customers. The design is going to be really simple, modern technology, sustainable, nothing that's going to have too big a carbon footprint, but really it's just a cohesive design more than anything monumentally clever.
Got it. And as far as, obviously in doing these type of it's a large scale project. What's the actual total value of it again?
When it's finished, it'll cost us about 66 million.
Yeah.
And we're planning on selling it for just over 80.
Okay. And so obviously, in doing all this sort of stuff, there's sort of, elements of risk to it. And I know you guys would have experienced that in your career. So
Yep.
how do you sort of look at some of the risk mitigation aspects of the actual project?
All right. Well, there's really, when you're building any sort of development, there's really two risks, and they're both very similar in the outcome. So one is a time risk. The other one is a cost overrun risk. Now, in this particular instance, the first thing we've done is we've gone out and secured the anchor tenants, because there's no point in building a $66 million shopping centre and you've got no one to rent it. That's a train wreck. So the first thing we've done is we've secured the anchor tenants. The second thing we've done is we've designed it so it's simple to build. It complies with most of the council rules. Anything that's outside is a little bit. So we're not trying to push the envelope, which will lead to a long development application time or having to go to court. So we've talked to the tenants, we've talked to council. We're just trying to make this a really simple process so that all of those things that everyone's worried about are not going to happen.
I suppose just as a final question, I imagine you've had a lot of interest from the local community in that area in this project, just given you mentioned it's been quite run down. What's been their sort of thoughts and sort of communications to you?
People are so excited by it. If I'm really honest, I cannot believe the amount of excitement that has come to this project. We've had everybody from a major hotel group ring us to say, can you build us a 30-story tower there? We've had international food tenants ring us and find us through the agent and call us to say, hey, we want to take space in your property.
Yeah.
We're not worried about filling it up with tenants. We will probably have too many and have a waiting list. And the locals are so excited to get a new state-of-the-art facility so that they can get their shopping done easy. They haven't got to go to Westfields and park for 3 hours. It's just easy. We went to Westfields one day, great shopping centre, but it took 20 minutes from the time I got in the front door to I parked till I found where Coles was.
Yeah.
20 minutes. So I could just be hopeless, but something where you can drive in, go up the Travelator, there everything is exactly what the locals want.
And Helen, you seem to have a unique approach to how you sort of do what you do. Why is it for you so important that you, with investors that you're that are working with you, that invest into the different projects, why is it so important for you that you make them feel a part of the project?
Well, I think coming from a migrant background, and this comes from having a lot of times, most of the time we were taught to they feel, touch, see it, drive past it, right? And I feel that a lot of projects that people invest in, they want to know, even though they own a small part of it, that they can see it happening, right?
Yeah.
It's the progress. So when they are investing in larger projects, one of the biggest complaints I see when I hear back from the market is that, oh, we put our money in, but we don't know what exactly is happening. We don't know if they've done this lease. It's very hard in the hierarchy of things. So we are a small, unique boutique organization, and we want all of our investors to just almost go, okay, well, we know that first brick is being laid. We know that this, you're getting the tenant in, we can see your fit out. And I think it helps them to build confidence in their investments and the trust in what we do, but also get them to invest more into the future because they can see each project eventuating. Right?
Yeah. Congratulations to you both. And I'll just finish on note saying I think it's fantastic the way that you're approaching that and bringing people, because often, sometimes these deals are just numbers on a page that people sort of make a decision on. It's very rare they sort of get invited to come along. Of course people do updates, but coming along for the journey and understanding and being able to understand it, how you're thinking about it, how you're approaching it, how you're looking to add value for that, etc. I think is sort of quite unique in your approach. So congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us at your event.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you.